crispy, right? Yeah, crispy crazy.
What's up, new dudes? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Don't do that.
It's been I didn't even realize I was doing it. It just kind of came out for me naturally. I can't control it. I can't control myself. It's been a while. Welcome back to the Peaceful Restaurant Podcast Project. The podcast about eating all 150 menu items of Vancouver's award-winning Peaceful Restaurant. I'm Brian Sherla.
I'm Andy Sherla.
And we're back. It's been a little bit of a break. Andy went to Europe.
I did.
For a whole month, basically. Yeah. Life gets in the way of doing this podcast
Sure
in
does.
some uncertain, in some difficult to foresee ways.
Yeah.
I don't know why we thought it would be so easy to just continue going back to the same restaurant all the time.
Yeah.
On our sparsely, when do you have free time on the weekends? Almost never.
Well, it's not even that I have or I don't have free time, but it's just it's during the week at work and it's Tuesday, and then someone's like, hey, do you want to go hang out on Saturday? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then it's like, oh, well, podcast isn't happening.
Totally. It's difficult because we do want to keep living a life as well while we still explore, investigate, and, provide an encyclopedic compendium of all things Peaceful Restaurant in Vancouver.
I would compare this to a Planet Earth style deep
Planet
dive.
Earth?
Planet Earth.
It's it's a show about fireplaces.
Yeah. And what a show it is.
That would be Planet Hearth.
Is it Hearth?
That's Hearth.
Hearth?
Not Hearth.
What's a Hearth?
Maybe that is I guess it's the same.
Is it the same thing?
Hearth. I think it's pronounced Hearth.
Because there's that game, right? Hearthfire?
I don't know.
Or is that how you spell it? H-E-E-A and pronounce it Hearth?
Hearth. I believe it's Hearth. In fact, I'm 100% positive it is. Maybe it's Hearth in some parts of the country.
I don't know.
Maybe probably
It's
in
like how they say rough instead of roof.
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
Anyway, yeah, this is the Planet Earth version of a podcast.
I love that. You come to us for some gentle nature footage. I mean, I do like that idea. The idea that we are a Planet Earth podcast where people come to us for gentle David Attenborough-esque discussions of food, which is in some way as cute as seeing a polar bear hold a polar bear cub, and then you only get it once every few years.
I mean, I like to think I was watching one of the new episodes last night, and I saw a jaguar eat a caiman.
What's a caiman?
It's kind of like a crocodile.
Okay. Crocodile, Jace.
Well, they're all in the same family. If you looked at it, you'd be like, that's a crocodile, but it's they're just called caimans. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how you differentiate. But, yeah, just grabbed him right in the back of the head.
And that's what you think about when you think about this podcast?
Yeah, the really vicious parts of Planet Earth.
Not the fun parts.
And there was also a part of, there was a frog guarding a bunch of frog eggs. And some of them had you could clearly see tadpoles ready to come out in there, and then a wasp came by and ate some of the tadpoles.
Wasps eat tadpoles?
Apparently in the jungle they do.
Wasps are fucked up.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
they don't contribute anything either.
They don't?
No, they're not. They're not like bees. They don't pollinate.
Well, then what the fuck is the point of wasps?
I don't know, man.
What's the point of you?
I don't know. They're monsters.
I'm not here for wasps.
Yeah.
If you're in the pocket of big wasps, stop listening to this podcast.
And the frog, because he was guarding the eggs, kicked him in the head.
He kicked the wasp in the head?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did the wasp die?
No, they definitely got some of the tadpoles because he had 3 bunches of eggs, so he was protecting the youngest ones because he could only protect. He couldn't get to all of them. There's only one frog. He wasn't that big of a frog. Yeah.
Poor frogs. Nature is tough.
That's right.
Just
Peaceful Restaurant is tough.
It is. I prefer to think of this podcast as that episode of Blue Planet where it's all about coral reefs, and they show that one super high-speed close-up footage of algae extending its tentacles and slowly taking over a section of the coral reef.
Right.
And it's just this slow, terrifying, all-encompassing thing from which there is no escape and no return. And that's how I feel about going to Peaceful Restaurant.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll probably die there.
At this rate, yes. I feel like it will kill us.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, we're back. We're going to talk about 2 things today. I know we said on the last podcast, if you remember it, that we would talk about 3 things. The Chinese rice cakes with Napa cabbage, the spicy salted tofu, and the bean sauce eggplant. However, there was a small wrinkle in our plan today. We went to the new downtown location.
Yes.
Which we're not sure if this is a thing during weekdays.
I'm pretty sure this is a thing at all locations.
Okay, during the weekday.
Well, this is the only second weekday lunch time I've been to a Peaceful. The other one was our usual location off Main Street. And I do remember them having a lunch menu.
Okay. So
A limited lunch menu. Is what I should say,
that's the thing. They don't have everything on the lunch menu. So we could get the Chinese rice cakes with Napa cabbage.
Yep.
But we could not get the spicy salted tofu.
No.
We could not get the bean sauce eggplant.
We could not.
So instead, we got the chili garlic eggplant.
Yes.
And we reviewed the Napa cabbage and Chinese rice cakes. Because with the lunch menu, one of the dishes comes with a bunch of noodles or rice.
Yeah, and you get soup.
And you get soup. So it was too much food.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, there is work to be done. There is a lot of heavy lifting to be done as far as getting through this menu.
It's like, sure, is it probably a bad move to only do 2 dishes on the show? Definitely.
It kind of reminds
100%.
me of like when you're in university and you're like, oh, I don't know how this happened, but I'm only doing 2 classes this semester. It's like, okay, well, you're wasting everyone's time. You're wasting your time because you're only taking 2 classes.
You're going to be here longer than everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's not good for you. You should take 4 classes or 3 classes at the minimum. Anyway. Yeah, or 5 classes if you live on campus and you're a full-time student. I'm not here to tell you what to do.
What was I taking? In film school, I think there were 6 classes.
Yeah, but film school is more like you're packing it in for like a 1-year course. It's different. It's like BCIT. There's like tons of heavy lifting.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't do any work there.
No. I didn't mean that. I mean like they just condense everything into such a small, compact time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we are going to talk about those 2 things. Andy, you did go to Italy, though.
I did.
Where you did have multiple nudes.
I did have some nudes.
You had some Italian nudes.
I did.
Commonly known as pasta.
As a pasta.
Yeah. It's a spicy pasta.
Did I have any spicy pasta?
Was it more accurate to say like, oh, that's a buttery pasta?
There's some butter happening, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a cheesy pasta.
Yeah, that's a cheesy pasta. These are all things you probably exclaimed in a very offensive Italian accent.
Yeah. Balla.
Yeah, grazie.
Grazie. And then I threw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while Andy, in between being the worst possible tourist of all time, how was your Italian nude experience, nude dude?
It was great. I definitely had the best pasta I've ever had in my life there.
Unsurprising.
Yeah, I mean, shocking.
But the thing is, you went looking for it. That's great.
Yeah, I went on my way to get it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wasn't like, oh, let's just eat wherever. No, honestly, I would say 75% of my trip was where am I going to eat right now?
Yeah. That's how I treated Japan a lot of the time as well.
The thing I learned is that I care. I don't really care about history. You know what I mean? Like, I do and I don't.
Sure.
Just give me the food, man.
Yeah.
Just give me the food.
History's important.
Like,
though.
I care about the history of food.
Okay.
I went on a food tour. Learned a lot of stuff about the history of food. Like, the big chunk of the food tour was in the Jewish ghetto in Rome. That was very interesting.
I can see that being interesting.
And just talking about how some of the food came about because of whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah,
blah. But yeah, I don't know. I went to the Coliseum. Pass.
Nonplussed.
No, seriously, I really was.
I've been to the Coliseum. I thought it was cool.
It was cool, but it's just like,
I mean,
yeah, whatever.
Did you go to anywhere else in Rome? Like, did you go to like Mars Hill or any of the?
We did we went to Spanish Steps.
Yeah, that's nice. Spanish Steps are nice.
They aren't, though, like insanely crowded.
Yeah.
Went to the Trevi Fountain, of course. That's insanely crowded.
Yeah.
Everywhere was very crowded.
That's what you can say about Rome. Everything's very crowded.
Everything's
very,
very crowded. We went to, I can't remember the park. Like it's like the big park that's in Rome. Kind of
don't remember that.
A little more north in the city, but that was really nice. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
it was good.
But you care about food.
I care about food, and we went to Florence and Venice, and yeah, everywhere we had good food everywhere.
Good nudes.
Good nudes.
Did you have a nude with every meal? Every meal?
Every meal?
No, obviously not.
I did not. Yeah.
But could you have? Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I had quite a bit of nudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did you have the best nudes?
That was in Rome, for sure. I gotta go, yeah.
Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
You know what? I've got it on Instagram. If any of our nude dudes and dudettes out there are going to Rome soon.
Yeah. This is a thrilling part of the podcast.
Hold on.
Can Andy find it on Instagram?
Recent follow. Where is it?
Recent follow.
Well, because if you go to the things that you follow, there's a list in the order that you followed them.
What?
Yeah.
Like on your feed?
Like if you go onto your page and then click
I see.
following,
I see.
it'll show you them in the order that you like them.
Got it.
pretty much.
Okay.
So it's called Rossioli Ristorante.
Grazie.
Grazie. And then so basically that place, there's a bakery as well that I follow. That's the same company.
Okay.
Called Antico Forno Rossioli.
Grazie.
Grazie. And so in the restaurant, it's actually a deli and a restaurant.
Oh, fun.
So
How boring am I now? Oh, fun.
how quaint.
You know what I'd like to say to that? Neat.
Yeah. So we had to sit at the bar because they were actually doing like a little photo shoot in the restaurant area of some stuff, I guess. And we got the carbonara and the cacio e pepe.
Is that how you pronounce it? Cacio e pepe?
Well, I think it's cacio. Cacio e pepe.
I just call it cacio e pepe.
It's a pepe. Cacio e pepe.
Cacio
If
e
you say it
pepe.
fast enough, it kind of blends in. But,
Got it.
You fucking idiot.
I am an
Friggin'
idiot.
plebe.
I am a friggin' idiot.
Anyway, so those two pasta dishes were easily the best pasta I've ever had in my life.
At that restaurant specifically. Like both of those dishes at the same restaurant were the best you ever
definitely.
had.
And then that's the thing, because that was our first night in Rome. And then the next day...
Go big or go home, first night.
The next day, on our food tour, our tour guide was talking to us about cacio e pepe and carbonara, because those are Roman staples. And she was like, "Oh, has anybody had it yet?" Blah blah. Blah. And me and Michelle said, "Yes."
Yeah, I have.
We said yes, and she's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And we told her, and she's like, "Oh, wow, that's a really great place to go."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're like, "Oh, all right." And then literally, literally everybody else in the tour group was like, "What's the name of it? Can you write that down for us?" And
you were like, "You're not gonna get in."
seriously, because like when we sat down, we got in there at like 5:00 and got the last two seats at the bar because, like I said, they weren't.
And you got there pretty early. 5 o'clock is
5
early.
o'clock is very
not just
early
for a European dinner. That's early.
But we
here.
were just walking around, and like I said, it was the first day we were in Rome. We didn't really have lunch
because we were training.
Because we were training and stuff, and then we were like, oh, well, we're hungry, and then literally it was like I was ready to walk around more, but it just started pouring rain, so like let's just go in. And they were like, yeah, we can get you in. And then literally as we sat there, I saw them turn away tons of people.
Yeah.
Who were like, no. And even our tour guide was like, it's very hard to get into.
Yeah. How did you find out about this place?
Just like,
Yelp?
one of my typical... No, I stayed off Yelp because I felt like Yelp was pretty tourist heavy in terms of people using it.
It is. Although, to be fair, a lot of time, like when I was in Japan, I found some great spots on Yelp.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it's like you walk by a place that is like highly rated on Yelp, and it is like, oh, I see why people like this place.
Yeah, it's easy and whatever.
Yeah.
So my usual Google search would just be like non-touristy restaurants in wherever we were.
Okay.
And usually you can find lists like that, like
Sure.
off the beaten path a little bit. So that's how I found this place. And yeah, everybody, like the tour, I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome, like that you got in there. And she was like, you're lucky that you got in there. I'm like, awesome.
You were like, grazie.
Grazie. But yeah, the pasta was unreal. It was amazing.
So what was so good about it?
It
And
was
for
just like-
people who don't know, because I'm sure everyone knows what a carbonara is, right? That's
Sure.
like porchetta, sauteed.
No, not
or pancetta.
Pancetta, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, actually, the traditional is
Porchetta?
not porchetta. It's guanciale.
Guanciale?
Which is pig cheek.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yes.
I've never had guanciale.
Friggin' idiot.
I'm a stupid idiot.
Yeah. So pancetta is like what people use here because it's more readily available.
Or bacon.
Or you can just use bacon if you're doing it at home.
Yeah.
So
and if you don't want to spend $1 million.
that is just an egg sauce with Parmesan or I guess pecorino and
Carbonara?
Yeah,
Do you use pecorino for carbonara?
I think so.
I've just used Parmesan
Whatever.
before. But, I mean, to be fair, I'm not Italian.
Some sort of salty cheese.
Yeah.
And some sort of salty hard cheese, and then
Parsley.
No,
I always mix up parsley in the egg.
what are you doing?
That's what the recipe I have calls for.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
no parsley, black pepper, and
Yeah,
you're good
black
to go.
pepper for sure.
And then the cacio e pepe is literally just pepper.
Grazie. You say that in such a douchey accent.
Cacio e pepe.
Cacio e pepe.
Yeah, the Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
So that's just basically a sauce made out of the cheese and pasta water.
Yeah.
That you cook in it, and it just kind of makes like a velvety sauce, and then
covered in black pepper.
Covered in black pepper, and so they're very very simple dishes, but they're simple but hard to perfect, of course.
Yeah. I mean, unlike me, except for I've made cacio. I'm sorry. Cacio e pepe.
Grazie.
Prego. And I made it exactly one time, and I feel like honestly I perfected it. Yeah. I don't feel like
Nailed
there's
it.
any. I
don't even need to go to Rome.
No, I think I've pretty much I've recreated the Romani experience here.
Yeah, good. So yeah, and then the noodles themselves were just amazing. Like I'm pretty sure it was fresh pasta.
I mean Roman experience, not Romani. Anyway.
Yeah. And yeah, it was amazing. It was. Yeah,
having it with fresh noodles would be amazing.
Yeah, and it's that perfect like al dente texture. Like if you friggin' idiots out there go to Old Spaghetti Factory, every plate of pasta you get is overcooked. No question, because they cook all their pasta in batches. Like that they're doing that. Yeah, they're making a huge pot of spaghetti. It's sitting around, and then they're dumping sauce on it.
Totally.
Later.
Well, I mean, they have that dish on the menu. And by the way, like I'm not here to hate on people if you really love Old Spaghetti Factory.
I will hate on that.
I know.
Fuck that.
I have friends of mine who like it. I'm not here to hate on that, but it is not my favorite place to go eat.
If you go there, I'll say if you are going there,
know what you're getting into.
Well, also, and if you don't request to sit in the trolley, what are you doing?
Yeah, but as a place to go for like cheap meal, you get garlic bread. It's like
you get the spumoni ice cream.
Spumoni is good.
Yeah. I would just go for the spumoni.
Spumoni is a good time.
Oh, yeah.
But they have that one dish on the menu that's like the manager special where you get to pick like 2 different sauces. Like you get 2 like little portions of spaghetti with 2 different sauces on it.
Oh.
And like that, like some people I was with were talking about like, oh, what a great deal. And it's like, no, that's like that's like 40 kinds of chicken wing flavors. It's like they just throw the sauce on right at the end.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
I mean, to be fair, most pasta, you do cook the pasta separately from the sauce anyway. But it's still
what everything I know about cooking pasta is you cook the pasta till it's not even al dente, then you put it in the pan with the sauce, and then you finish the pasta in the sauce so it all kind of cooks together
at a nice place. That is the ideal way to do it. But anyway, like overcooking pasta, which is the thing I did, I would say probably up until like last year.
Yeah.
Is a crime. Al dente is, I mean, maybe it's just me, but for me, al dente is the only way.
Totally. Yeah. It's the same concept behind like risotto or whatever. You want it al dente because you want that texture.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want mush.
No.
I don't want wheat mush.
No.
I want to taste I want that crisp, that crunch. I want that zip, that zang of the noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, nudes were good.
Yeah. You also went to a 3 Michelin star restaurant. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? You're the only person I know who's been to a 3 Michelin star restaurant now.
I am also the only person I know. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but
I know.
I will say, for anyone listening, I am very grateful. My lovely father enabled me and my girlfriend to do that. This is by no means a small.
No.
We'll just go out for dinner.
No.
Thing. This is definitely I specifically wanted to go here because of the experience, and it's
the kind of once in a lifetime thing.
I won't say how much it was, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was definitely a once in a lifetime thing. If you're able to do so, I would go to one. I don't know.
For the experience.
Yeah, I went to La Pergola in Rome.
I believe it's La Pergola.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, if I see that outside, I don't. If I'm in someone's backyard,
La Pergola.
If I'm in someone's backyard, I don't think I'm like nice pergola. You know what I mean?
You would say pergola.
Pergola.
Pergola. Like I'm like gondola.
Yeah, gondola. Gondola. What are you doing? It's gondola. Gondola.
Yeah, I just said gondola.
Yeah.
Pergola.
No, you're doing
it's the same thing.
No, you're doing the opposite.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Pergola, gondola.
No, that's the opposite.
No.
It would be gondola, pergola. You're saying you're over enunciating the vowel sound in gondola. Okay, prego. Let's just move on. You stupid idiot.
I don't know how words work.
I don't know. Anyway,
it was really good.
Yeah,
but
enough said.
I will say no. But I'm just talking about pasta.
Nudes
specifically.
This is still relevant to nudes.
Definitely,
we're nude dudes.
Yeah. So one of the dishes that
I guess rename the podcast "Nude Dudes." I mean, because then we could talk about ramen too.
We could talk about a lot of things. One of the dishes, which I guess it's named after the restaurant, is a. It's kind of like I can't remember the name of the pasta, but it's kind of like like a tortellini kind of shape, but a little bigger than that, and not quite as like. There's a little more room in the pasta. It's not just like that perfect U or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a little wider. But when you bite into it, it is like the sauce of a carbonara.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It was unreal. It was like I've never had anything like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the best thing I can compare it to is almost like a xiaolongbao.
Yeah.
It's like you would, I mean, they're small enough that you could just pop them in your mouth. I mean, I guess you could do that with xiaolongbao, but you'd hurt yourself.
Yeah, that broth is so hot.
But just to have that sauce, it just kind of like, literally just like you bite into it and it kind of pops in your mouth and just kind of that silky smooth.
The idea of like a carbonara dumpling sounds so goddamn good.
Yeah, it's kind of what it was. Yeah,
yeah.
And it was unreal. But anyway, the dinner as a whole was amazing. Yeah, I don't know.
Great job.
Yeah.
Way to eat those nudes.
Ate some nudes, and I had. Did I have any noodles? No, I didn't have any noodles in Germany.
Yeah, you didn't have any.
I had Spätzle.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I did have Spätzle.
Spätzle's a noodle.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a German noodle.
Didn't blow me away. Maybe it was just the Spätzle I had. But
yeah,
it was kind of like in a weird like. I don't know if it was like a beer sauce. It was a little like tangier than I was expecting.
Did you have it at a beer hall?
I sure did.
At Augustiner?
Augustiner, yeah. Yeah.
That's a beer hall that both Sherlock boys have been to numerous occasions.
Yeah.
Just if you're a curious listener.
And actually, there's a huge Augustiner beer hall in Salzburg.
Oh, really?
Gigantic. Didn't go to it, but it is massive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like bigger than Hofbrauhaus?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because Hofbrauhaus is there's buildings everywhere.
Yeah.
But this Augustiner place in Salzburg, it's not in the city center. It's kind of away from that, and it's just like a huge building.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
interesting.
Go travel, people.
Yeah, traveling's the best. Yeah. Traveling is the best thing. You try all kinds of nudes when you travel.
That's right.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. What country doesn't have a noodle or something?
England?
Approximate.
The United Kingdom?
Mexico.
No.
All right, there's a lot.
I mean, there are some where noodle is not a traditional staple, I don't think. But, like, yeah, I don't know. But I would say...
I guess there's a lot of rice. There's more rice. Do you think there's... Okay, if you're looking at a map, do you think there's more countries that rice is a staple or noodles are a staple? Probably rice, right?
But there's some countries where it's both.
Yeah, I know. Sure, obviously taking that into account. But I'm saying, like, I bet there's more countries that are, like, more rice-heavy than noodle-heavy.
Totally.
In terms of their, say, like, traditional kind of...
Yeah,
foods.
But, like, you think about, like, rice, and I don't believe it has origins in, like... Western culture very often. I think a lot of that is like through world trade it became a staple.
Oh, for sure. Probably.
Yeah. Oh, and then you get things like Carolina Gold rice.
But you look at like the Middle East and stuff, it's like, and so much of their food is like, you know, it's like curries and rice, and like you don't see a lot of like, oh yeah, we're making noodles. It's like,
well, I mean, maybe they do. Who knows? Like, who are we? We're not experts. We haven't been.
No, I'm an expert.
Grazie.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Okay. Well, are you ready to turn your attention to the nudes nude adjacent menu items that we're here to discuss today?
Sure.
It's been a while since we've been a peaceful restaurant. I went in there actually craving I walked by there numerous times of late, craving the Dan Dan noodles, and have somehow managed to stop myself from going in.
Good for you.
But I'm excited to get back to this, our long, arduous task.
Yes.
So today, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're here to discuss the Chinese rice cakes with Napa cabbage and the chili garlic sauce eggplant. No, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
Okay. And spicy salted tofu, you'll have to wait.
And with the eggplant today, because it was the lunch special item, we had it with the typical hand-dragged noodles and a bowl of hot and sour soup.
I'm going to note here in the column on the sheet with nudes and soup. Mm-hmm. Just for accuracy.
Sure. Yeah.
Because obviously, like, you can't divorce the chili garlic sauce eggplant from the experience of just having it with the nudes, right? Because normally it doesn't come with the nudes. It's only a lunchtime thing, I think. Don't you think?
You don't know, like, the chili garlic eggplant is not on the regular menu?
No, it is. It must be. But I mean, like, let me look it up here.
Because honestly, if there was things on the lunch menu that were not on the menu we've been working off of, I think I might kill myself.
I don't think
it's like, no, it's not 122, it's 200.
Yeah, I don't think so. So we had hold on a second, chili garlic sauce eggplant, SP16 on the lunch menu.
Okay. So it'd be under...
vegetables, I think?
Yeah, because there was no meat in there, right?
No. So there is a chili garlic eggplant.
Oh, thank God.
That is on the normal vegetables and tofu. So we did have it. But it's sauteed with shredded pork, bamboo, witter mushrooms, and chili paste. Yeah, that's pretty much what we had, right?
Was there mushrooms in what we had today?
I think there was a little bit, yeah. Or was there? Maybe there wasn't.
Oh God.
I think we're still counting it, man.
Okay.
We're counting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did have that, but it doesn't say that it's not under noodles on the menu, the main dish.
No, you get the noodle because typically, like on the lunch special menu, it's not that it comes with noodles; it comes with rice, and we actually paid an extra $1 to get it with noodles instead of rice.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, normally, if we were just ordering it as we've ordered all the other dishes we've had in
It would just come as it is.
Exactly, it would come on a bigger plate with more stuff.
Yeah.
But we did get that, and we got the I can never remember the name. Chinese rice cakes.
Yeah.
With Napa cabbage. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. What would you like to discuss first?
Well, let's start with the eggplant. That's what got to the table first.
Sure, okay.
Well, we could start with the soup.
I mean, is this the time when we rediscuss hot and sour soup? Which, by the way, we have given a total score of
7.
Yep, 7.
Yeah.
You gave it a 3, and I gave it a 4.
Right.
There's one of our lowest,
Yeah.
tied for third lowest scores.
Yeah.
Not great.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they didn't. I mean, what we ordered before which we discussed was. Excuse me.
Hey, you okay? Come on, big guy.
A little tickle. Was they gave us a giant bowl of soup,
Like a trough of
this
soup.
This soup could have fed 4 people, no problem.
Easily.
And today they just gave us they gave us one bowl of soup, and we split that between the two of us.
Yeah.
And the splitting it was enough soup.
Easily. I was full up on hot and sour soup after that.
For sure. So I feel like the flavor was definitely not as intense as the soup that we had before in terms of like the kind of tangy
Maybe
vinegariness.
because there was less of it, though.
Maybe, but
Because we had to eat so much of that soup.
I also did note, and maybe I'm just not misremembering the last soup, but I felt like the broth texture was a little maybe like thicker this time. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like not like it. I feel like the
Difficult
broth,
to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but that's kind of what I remember. But anyway, it was fine. It was okay. I still don't love it. Like, I'd rather have like a wonton soup or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to give this soup an individual rating.
No, I'm not here to revise my score. I will say it was better than I remembered it. Like, I think I'm kinder to it now. Like, I might be willing to bump that up to a 4.5 or a 5.
And that's the thing. Maybe
you are falling apart at the seams right
maybe
now.
our tastes have changed a little since we had it.
It was only a couple months ago.
But I don't know. To me, it's like the best way I can compare it, maybe, and I don't know if this is happening or if the soup itself is just different.
You think we're becoming changed by Peaceful Restaurant?
Maybe, but it's like the way I can compare it is like, I drink a lot of craft beer. I didn't used to like IPAs or pale ales even, but since drinking more and more of it, it's like, my palate's kind of changing and adjusting to that, and
Right. Kind of like
I'm enjoying more complex flavors and all that kind of shit.
like when you learn to enjoy whiskey.
Exactly, yeah. You kind of become accustomed, and especially with like Sichuan and Chinese cooking, it's like the basic principles are like sweet, salty, sour, and like umami kind of flavor. Like that's kind of like things.
Yeah.
So a hot and sour soup is definitely trying to hit those notes, and I think hot and sour soup is a very I don't want to say extreme, but it's like it's very much like it's a sour soup.
Yeah, but it is though. But
Yeah.
the other thing too is that I wonder is like, is it meant to be? Okay, I need you to like just live through this podcast and then you can die. Okay.
Might need some water. You vamp.
Okay, I'll just talk to myself. I mean, you're still in the room, so I can still talk at you. But I feel like with the hot and sour soup that we've had, right above you, there you go. The hot and sour soup is not necessarily that hot. Like, if it's meant to be spicy, it's not really spicy. So I don't know if that's just something we're missing, or is that just like the way they make it at this particular restaurant, or if the hot is like intended to refer to stovetop hot heat and not spice. Because
Yeah, it's definitely not spicy at all.
no. So
And I don't mean that it's like, like I like spicy food and it's not spicy. It's literally no spice.
yeah, it's just sour. So I wonder if like if there's you got the water, I thought it would cure you right away. I wondered if like is the spiciness of a hot and sour soup like as you might get it in like the Sichuan region of China.
But is it even supposed to be spicy?
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, or is spice meant to combat the sour and balance it out a little bit more? Like, I would be curious to have a spicy hot and sour soup to taste what that was like. But I will say that
But again, what my question is hot and sour soup even supposed to be spicy?
I don't know.
But you're saying, oh, I'd like to try a spicy one, but maybe it's not supposed to be spicy.
I know. I'm just saying maybe it is, and if that's the case, I wonder if I'm just positing a question. And if you're listening and you know the answer to this, please get at us on Twitter.
I'm sure it's a quick Wikipedia search away, but
I can't do that.
No.
I can't be bothered. Anyway, I still don't love the hot and sour soup. But let's talk about the chili garlic sauce eggplant.
Yes.
So the eggplant came with the nudes. You kind of mix it up so the chili garlic sauce got all over the nudes as well.
As you do.
As you do. We'd had the eggplant before in the Chinese ratatouille.
Yeah, different sauce.
But still basically the same vegetable.
Yes. Yep, still eggplant.
Yep, still eggplant. Basically the same.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I liked it a lot.
I think they do good eggplant.
They do good eggplant.
I'm ready to say Peaceful Restaurant knows their way around an eggplant.
They do. Definitely. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's nicely sauteed. It's like it's got a little bit of crispiness on like one side, but like not a ton obviously. It's just like kind of like
yeah, I mean it's like eggplant does it gets a little mushy, but it's good though. It still like holds up. It's not like falling apart.
No, it's not overcooked. Yeah. It was really I thought the flavors were really really nice. The eggplant had a good texture. I wasn't blown away by the chili garlic sauce.
I was just gonna say
it wasn't that flavorful.
It was I found it actually a little too sweet.
Yeah.
So it wasn't supposed to be like some ripping hot spicy dish or anything like that.
No.
But it wasn't quite spicy enough for me. I would have liked a little bit more spice.
Like the spicy chili garlic prawns.
Sure.
Which we both loved.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. The sweetness was a little too much for me, but the actual eggplant itself was really good. Yeah. So if you had a piece of eggplant that was not just like doused in that sauce, then it was nice. It balanced the flavors well. But if you got a couple pieces that were like really heavy on the sauce, I was like, it's too sweet.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like, don't get me wrong, they still made the noodles great. Like
I mean,
the nudes are always good.
Yeah.
The sauce, didn't rock my world. I agree that it was too sweet. It was almost like because it was so heavy on the sweet flavor, it kind of ended up tasting just like not like a barbecue sauce, obviously, but like just something that's kind of like plain.
Well, it's like
a plain
that
sauce.
It's like that sweet chili sauce you would buy in like a supermarket.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe even more like because it wasn't even that heavy on the garlic. It was like, difficult to say.
Yeah.
Don't know where they went wrong on that, but I will say that the foundations of the dish were rock solid.
Yeah,
and the Napa cabbage. What did you think about that? The cabbage is good. It was just a wilted. Oh, that was the other one. Never mind.
You
Sorry.
friggin' idiot.
I honestly, my whole life is a blur now. Yeah. I can't remember anything.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, sorry. What else were you going to say about the chili garlic sauce?
Eggplant? Well, no, I was just going to say, like you were saying, they do good eggplant. Like I don't know if there's other eggplant dishes on the menu.
Well, Andy,
there's the one we were supposed to do,
the bean sauce eggplant, which I'm excited to have,
which we will get at some point. But that bean sauce is also sweet, so we'll see how that goes. But the eggplant it's very enjoyable. It's like we had it with noodles and it's kind of covered in sauce, but it's like. Doesn't feel as like I'm not eating like a piece of like deep fried chicken or something like that. It's like at least it's a vegetable and
it's healthy-ish.
I mean, I'm sure all the nutrients have been cooked down out of it, but whatever. It's got skin on there.
Yeah. So other than the ratatouille and the bean sauce eggplant, it doesn't show up on the menu anywhere else.
Interesting.
So we're 2/3 of the way through the eggplant offerings.
Maybe we'll save that for later.
I want that bean sauce. I want that bean sauce eggplant, man.
It is good.
Sweet bean paste.
Sweet bean.
Yeah, you're my sweet bean. Do you have anything else to say about the chili garlic eggplant? I mean, I think at this point I can comfortably say if you go with eggplant at Peaceful Restaurant, you're not going to be steered in the wrong direction. Even this was totally fine, and I can see people with maybe like in a weird way, I feel like sometimes I get to a point where it's like, if it's not spicy or if it really doesn't have like a peppery kick to it, like sometimes sauces do feel kind of bland to me now.
Sure.
And I wonder if that's just because I'm ruining things for myself.
With spicy stuff?
Yeah. But I think this is probably a very foundationally safe dish. Mm-hmm. And if people were like, I don't know what to get, I would say, yeah, sure, go for it. Like, I have no problem recommending to it. I would recommend other things before it.
I would say maybe go, I can't remember what did I give the ratatouille?
The ratatouille we're pretty kind to it. Let me look. The ratatouille you gave an 8, and I gave an 8.5.
Yeah. So I don't know that it's hitting that level.
No, I like the ratatouille
But part
more.
of that too was like there's potatoes in there. And
The ratatouille is like I would say if you're after you want to try the eggplant and you want
start
vegetables,
with the ratatouille.
Get the ratatouille.
I would say start with the ratatouille. I mean, but that's the thing. And we also kind of have to take into context that we ordered this off the lunch special menu. So if you're going there for lunch and you're like, man, I don't know what to get. I mean, my first suggestion is get the Dan noodles, whatever. Yeah. But if you don't want noodles,
second suggestion, peaceful beef roll.
Yeah.
Third suggestion,
so maybe like suggestion 15 or so.
Yeah.
But no, but it's like, but also too, if you're looking for something that's like it's vegetarian, but you still want something like savory, not a little sweet and savory, and it's like kind of like I would like we're in Vancouver. It's pretty cold out today.
Yeah.
It was definitely a like, this is like a nice like warming dish.
It's comforting.
It's comforting. Yeah. So it's like I would say like if you're looking for a good like lunch thing and you're vegetarian or whatever, maybe start with that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if you're going in there for a lunch special. It's like you can get that with rice or the noodles or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I've got my score locked in.
Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to give it.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
You can go.
I will give the chili garlic sauce eggplant with noodles and soup 6.5.
That's exactly what I was going to give.
Okay, it's better than your average bear.
Sure,
but not amazing. Like it's I would say it's like a solid mid-range dish. It's not. It doesn't reach the heights of like the ratatouille at all. And like I say, perfectly safe. Certainly not bad. And not bad. Like it's
it's not bad.
This movie. This is the Marvel movie of eggplant dishes. It's like it's competently told. There's nothing bad about it.
If I showed up somewhere and someone was like, "Hey, I got takeout and I got some of the sweet chili or the chili garlic eggplant," I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah, I'd eat it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I wouldn't be like, "Why didn't you get the ratatouille?" I mean, I might be like, "Why didn't you get the ratatouille?"
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "Surprise! Here's a side dish of ratatouille." And I'm like, "Oh my god, a grazie!"
Grazie. Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So that puts it to a total score of 13. Pretty much right in between the Northern
that's not a bad
Mandarin.
score.
No, right between the Northern Mandarin pork dumplings and the General Tso's chicken, which was elevated by my much higher score than yours.
Yes.
But very close to the Sichuan Squid, which we both really liked a lot.
That's right.
I mean, I think I'm going to mark that down as a win.
Yeah.
Are you ready to move to the Chinese rice cakes with Napa cabbage?
I am.
Okay, so the Chinese rice cakes with Napa cabbage, I can read the full description of because it wasn't just on the lunch menu, and it actually has the description. Chinese rice cakes. Chinese rice cakes. Soft and chewy, stir-fried with pork and leafy greens, or Napa cabbage. What? They didn't give us an option for that.
We had it with the cabbage.
We had it with the cabbage.
Yeah.
$13.95. Off the stir-fried.
Wait, no, there was leafy greens in there too.
There
was cabbage and there was like spinach in there.
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
that's
there?
right.
Yeah. Whatever. Maybe they meant and not or.
Yeah. Anyway, $13.95. Why don't you talk about this first? So we were kind of, just to set up a little bit, we were kind of into this because we had them at Bao Bei.
Yeah, rice cakes.
Yeah.
And when we say rice cakes, if anyone doesn't know, we're not talking about the shitty, flavorless things you find in like the supermarket that you eat because it's quote unquote healthy. Not those. These are just like these are almost like they look like water chestnuts kind of. They're like round kind of skinny thing, but the texture is like a chewy. I don't know what to compare it to.
Kind of a dumpling-ish texture, but like
a little
not.
bit. It's chewier than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's doughy.
It's doughy and kind of chewy, but they can soak in a lot of flavor. It's kind of like a noodle. It's like it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's almost like a rice noodle, but in like cake form.
Would you maybe compare it to gnocchi a little bit?
Yeah, maybe.
Like same idea, but like flatter and like not
flatter,
maybe a little bit different because it's not served with such like
sure
different kinds of sauce.
So so we had that at Bao Bei, which is a very nice Chinese restaurant in Vancouver, and we like those a lot.
By the way, if we made this the Bao Bei podcast, we'd be done. We'd already be done.
Yeah, definitely. Their menu is probably not even a quarter of the size.
No.
So we had that there. That was really good. And then we saw they have it on the menu here. Like, oh well, let's give it a go. And they were really good. I enjoyed it a lot. We're not here to compare between restaurants. We're here to talk about Peaceful. So I won't say. I actually don't know which one I like better. It's hard to say because I had the last time I had those ones from Bao Bei was a while ago.
Okay.
But these are good. I really like the texture of the rice cakes, and like it's kind of another like it's very comforting food. It's like
Good on a cold day.
exactly, and which is most. I think you probably say that about most like Chinese food or like noodles and that kind of thing. But yeah, the pork was really good. The sauce was really good.
I mean, we've had the little bits of like stir fried pork. They have that shows up in so many dishes on this menu.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and the cabbage and the spinach. It was nice. It was like this was not a spicy dish either. But it wasn't like it wasn't boring. It was nice. Like I could have.
Wasn't it though?
You thought it was boring? Didn't care for it, eh?
I did kind of think it was a little bland.
Yeah.
Like the eggplant to me was elevated by how good they can prepare an eggplant.
Sure.
And this was the rice cakes don't have a lot of flavor on their own, obviously. And they're meant to soak up a lot of flavor, but it didn't really feel like there was that much flavor in the dish for it to soak up. You know what I mean? Like the pork was good, like the leafy greens were good, and then the rice cakes weren't bad.
I mean, would I prefer like a spicy version? Sure.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying like it wasn't like necessarily like tangy or sweet or.
It was just kind of like a savory, like I don't know, soy based kind of sauce.
Yeah. So it didn't rock my world, is all I mean.
Sure.
Like I like the rice cakes a lot at Bao Bei.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them here, but it didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
Like I cannot see myself ordering this again.
Really?
Like again, like I think I would compare it to your thing of if I was at a party and someone was like, I got the Chinese rice cakes, I'd be like, what a specific thing for you to have ordered from a place that this is a deep thing buried on the menu.
Yeah.
But I would eat it and I wouldn't complain. Like it's still fine. It's good.
Yeah.
But compared to so much of the other stuff on the menu, I think it's like I think it is like if I were to go back and I didn't have to work my way through the menu and I ordered this, I would be like, I just wasted my food order. Like,
really?
Like I feel like there's so many better things on the menu that I could have that are not this. I like this though. It's better when we disagree.
I feel like this is the odd time where I like something more than you do.
Yeah, normally you're just
Usually I'm harsher than you are about things.
Yeah, totally. Interesting.
Huh.
What about its bland texture did you really enjoy? Was it the boringness or the blandness?
Yeah. No, I like it. I like I don't know, I like that like level of simplicity which is like it's just kind of like a canvas. Like to me, yeah, there's not a ton of flavor going on. Like if you just ate the rice cakes with nothing on them, they'd probably be a little bland.
Yeah.
But you could say that about a lot of things.
Totally.
Like pasta and noodles in general. Like, oh well, it's like it tastes good because it's still a noodle or whatever, but it's like there's just not a lot of flavor going on.
I'm not here to argue with that, but I'm just saying the overall composition of the dish didn't have a lot of flavor.
Sure.
Period.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. It didn't rock my world. It was still good.
Yeah.
But it didn't rock my world.
Right.
I mean, would you order this again?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think part of it too is that I really like the texture of the rice cakes.
Yeah.
Too.
To me, it just made me want like a gnocchi dish.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're just all in on rice cakes right now. You're having a moment with rice cakes, and that's okay. It's okay to admit that to yourself.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I like them too, but not as much as you, I guess. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're two different people.
We are.
What would you... I've locked in my score already.
Okay.
What would you give?
I would give this a 7.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. 7.5. Okay. I would give it a 6.
That's not bad.
13.5.
That's not a bad score.
It's right up there with what we gave the eggplant. The eggplant came in at 12 points or 13.
I'm saying like I thought you were going to go lower. I thought you were going to go like 5 or
No. It's not that. Like, that's the thing. Like you look at the things I've given a 5 to, and it's like I don't know, like the Peaceful House rice, steamed pork buns, the
you leave that rice alone.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was just the rice. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's better than the hot and sour soup. It's better than the stir fry noodles. It's better than the steamed pork buns. Even though I love steamed pork buns normally, but the ones we had were pretty bland and generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself eating it again one day, but like, I don't know. Like, it's not nothing that I'll ever really crave anytime
You wouldn't go out of
soon.
your way to do it again.
No, if I'm going there for something I'm craving, like I'm looking at all the things we have at the top of the menu, and obviously it's like
how do you justify
like
ordering that?
could I order this over the Sichuan Mapo tofu even? No, like not a chance.
I think in another universe where
I love this multiverse theory. Continue.
where we're not doing this podcast, but say you do frequent peaceful semi regularly. I would think about being like, oh, well, it's like I come here enough that I don't need to get the staples.
Right. That's
you know
fair.
what I mean?
I want something different.
I want something different.
Which is kind of the impetus for this podcast in general.
Yeah, I want something different. Mm-hmm. So, but that's the thing. If we're not doing this podcast and you're only going to Peaceful once a month, if that, like
once a month, I think most people would be like maybe twice a year.
Yeah, every couple months or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for some people maybe it's their like go to Chinese takeout place or something like that.
Yeah.
So you might just be like, well, this is what I get when I get Peaceful. So I'm gonna get the Zhangbao and Dan Dan noodles and whatever, the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, you might completely overlook the rice cakes.
And what you're saying is you would hate to live in a world where people are overlooking rice cakes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best thing on the menu. It's not, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I can agree that it's good. I'm not here to tell you it's bad.
Yeah.
I just, it didn't blow me away.
But what I'm saying is, like, if I was ordering takeout and I like, I'm going to try these rice cakes, I wouldn't feel like, I wasted my order. I wouldn't feel bad about it.
I kind of would. Yeah. I feel like I kind of would.
Like, you would be like, I should have got the Dana noodles instead.
Well, I mean, maybe not those.
You could say
because,
that literally about anything.
I know, because we gave those both a 10. But, I mean, like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, if I wasn't getting the Dan Dan noodle, I can think of now, because I've been through this, multiple things that I would get instead of the Dan Dan noodles before I would ever think to go to the rice cakes again. Huh. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And again, like, I gave it a 6. Like, that's not, it's not the end of the world.
But I'm saying, like, if I was ordering a rice cake, that would be an instead of like a noodle or a rice dish.
I understand,
because it's like carb heavy and stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, like, if I want carbs or rice, I'll go for something that I find like a lot better than this.
Yeah, steamed rice.
Steamed rice, just fucking steamed rice. Didn't you give it like an 8 or something like that? I'm trying to find it on the thing here. Steamed rice. You give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
The same review.
Yeah.
See, actually, in a weird way, I feel like this is comparable to steamed rice. Yeah. It's kind of bland and competent.
Yeah. What did you give steamed rice?
5, because it's like middle of the road. It's rice.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot.
Steamed rice.
Well, I mean, what would you give Carolina Gold rice? Would you give it a 5?
No, I probably would give it a 7. Yeah, 7.5. That's good rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, God. Okay, well, that'll do it for this week's review. Obviously, it's a little bit less involved this time out, but that's okay. Let's see here. So we reviewed 2 things. The Chinese rice cakes, which Andy gave a 7.5. I gave a 6 for a total score of 13.5. And the chili garlic sauce eggplant, which we both gave 6.5 for a total score of 13. So both, above average scores, but like, not mind-blowing.
No.
But still solid. Like, this was a solid at bat. I would say both these dishes get on base.
Sure, definitely.
They're money-balling. They're doing okay.
Oh, they're definitely money-balling.
Yeah, they're doing okay. This isn't a situation like the Yunnan rice noodle pot, which you gave. Do you remember what you gave that?
2?
Yeah, you did give it a 2. You hated it.
Yeah, I did hate it.
Wow. And I gave it a 5. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, do you want to pick our next week? Well, we could do this next week. We actually have a little bit of time now.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick our next week's dishes?
We'll have to go for dinner.
Yes. That's a fact.
I would say, well, let's go back. We'll stick to the spicy salted tofu.
Good. Because I was going to say, I do want, like, I love that Sichuan mapo tofu.
Yeah.
And I feel like, in a way, I want to chase that dragon.
Like, so what did we give the mapo tofu? I remember liking it quite a bit.
We gave it a lot. We gave it a lot. The mapo tofu, I gave an 8, and you gave a 7. So you gave it a 7? Those were early days.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like,
I feel like if I had it now, I would go higher.
That was the third thing.
Like, in retrospect, like, I remember really liking it, and I think I was probably hesitant to just go high on the scoring.
You know what? That was our first episode.
So what's the total score on that?
15.
15. So that would probably crack the top 10, though, right?
Nope.
Doesn't
not anymore.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
But I'm comfortable with an 8. That's something that, in retrospect, I might go a little higher than 8.
See, okay. I mean,
but if you gave it an 8,
and I know we're a long way off from the end. The end is still far away.
Yeah.
But
that's how you felt at the time.
It might behoove us to maybe like nominate a few ones that are maybe worth a second look down the road.
A special episode entitled "Did we get that right?"
Yeah. Do I like this?
Yeah. Do I like this?
Yeah.
Maybe closer to the end. That would be something we could do.
But I don't know, because to me, it's like I feel like I would have given it. I mean, again, that was very close to the beginning. That was over a year ago.
Yeah. Last June.
My memory of that is liking it quite a bit. So the fact that I gave it a 7 seems low to me.
Yeah. And yet.
But here we are.
Here we are. And we've firmly said that we are not changing our scores unless we do a special episode entitled, Do I Like That?
I think this is a thing that, once we get through the menu and then be like, okay, well, maybe we nominate, 3 dishes each to be
fuck,
we'll
that's
do
so much.
2 episodes of Did We Like That? One
Okay.
for me, one for you.
Okay.
And then we just nominate 3 things. But okay,
I like this.
let's go back and do I like this? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into this.
And kind of give it a second chance.
Okay.
But again, that's a long way off.
That is a long way
we
off.
got a ways to go.
Yeah. But anyway, I feel like I've been chasing that tofu spicy
Yeah, I'm
dragon.
into it.
I'm into this
So
spicy
what was
salted.
the description again for the spicy salted? Is there a sauce on it, or is it just kind of like a crispy
Spicy.
or crispy salted tofu?
Spicy salted. Well, apparently, okay. So there's multiple things. There's 3 dishes on the menu that are called spicy salted X. There's spicy salted, spicy salted spare ribs, spicy salted squid, and spicy salted tofu. And they all have basically the same. They are this way with they have beef and lamb dishes that are basically the same. They have
Cumin lamb and
Yeah.
cumin beef. Yeah, okay.
the spicy salted tofu is crispy tofu tossed in spiced salt and diced chili pepper.
Okay, so yeah, it's like if you had the spicy squid or whatever. It's typical deep fried spicy squid kind of idea.
And the descriptions for all of those are exactly the same.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. Okay, let's pick 2 other things. You're not even looking at the menu right now.
I'm not.
Where do you want to go on the menu? So that's vegetables and tofu.
I'd like to maybe hit some seafood.
Seafood. Oh, a premium option because they are all the seafood dishes are more expensive.
A little more expensive. Yeah.
So we've had the sweet rice. What is happening to me? We've had the sweet rice wine fish.
we have.
That we liked that quite a bit.
We did.
That was a nice surprise. Have we had? We haven't really had much on the seafood menu.
No. I mean, we've had a bit of seafood, I think, on the dim sum menu, right?
Yeah.
But the actual seafood proper, so hit me with some.
Okay, so right off the top, Sichuan broth braised fish,
What's the description?
served on a bed of greens, surrounded by spicy, mouth-tingling broth. There's also
Does it say what kind of fish it is?
no, just as fish.
Okay.
I would imagine a white fish.
Yeah. I assume.
There's also spicy chili garlic fish.
Interesting.
Might be like the spicy chili garlic prawns.
Okay.
There's the spicy salted squid.
Right.
There's Szechuan peppercorn squid.
Interesting. What's the
Oh, the
description?
spicy chili garlic prawns, which we've had.
What's the Szechuan squid?
Sweet green peppers, onions, peanuts, and dried chili peppers.
Is it deep fried?
Doesn't say.
Interesting. I would assume it is, but keep going.
Spicy chili garlic prawns, which
Right.
we've had. Oh, by the way, the Sichuan peppercorn squid and the Sichuan broth braised fish both have the little mark next to them indicating it's house favorite.
Okay.
And then there's prawns and vegetables, which are probably not that good.
Yeah.
If we're going off of the
Sure.
other ones we've had.
Vegetables, yeah.
Kung Pao prawns, stir fried with sweet peppers, onions, peanuts, and chili peppers.
Yeah.
And prawns and braised tofu. Soft tofu and prawns served in a light, clear
Well,
sauce.
we're already doing the tofu. I would. My vote would be the Szechuan squid.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to rock it to this menu right now. Szechuan peppercorn squid. Fuck our shit up. Back to the Szechuan peppercorns.
do it.
Go with what brought you to the dance.
That's right.
Okay.
And then maybe maybe into the vegetables again.
Well, we do have the tofu, but that's
do
not
the
really a
tofu.
vegetable dish.
Yeah.
I mean, tofu is
Or
vegetarian.
we could do a noodle. When was the last time we did a noodle?
Today.
But I mean, an actual noodle dish, not it's this dish and you have it on top of noodles.
Last time, we did the northern curry stir-fried noodle.
That's right. right. Okay. Well, whatever.
What about...
There's a lot of
maybe-
rice dishes,
I was
too.
going to say, maybe a rice dish. We had the northern curry stir fry. There is a northern curry rice. There's an egg and tomato rice. Beef and tomato rice. Mandarin lamb rice, stir fried with diced lamb, carrots, celery, egg, and cilantro. Or Yang Zhou rice, stir fried with diced barbecue pork, shrimp, egg, and vegetables.
Sounds pretty good.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm going to say Zhou
Sure.
rice. Done. All right, so next time up, it is the spicy salted tofu, the Sichuan peppercorn squid, and the Yang Zhou rice. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're really doing it.
We're doing it.
Back at it again.
That's right.
Much like Damn Daniel foretold, we are truly back at it again.
What?
Do you know Damn Daniel?
Nope.
The internet meme?
Nope.
Damn Daniel, back at it again with the white vans?
Nope.
Could you engage with culture even a little bit?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're too busy thinking about nudes.
That's right.
Thinking about the Szechuan peppercorns.
I am.
Yeah, that's fine. To each their own.
Yeah. What if...
By the way, my favorite segment of every show is called What If. I love this about our show. The What If segment to close out the show is my favorite. Continue.
I was going to say, because, I've been talking about, maybe we'll get back into some D&D or whatever. What if the entire campaign was just like, you go to like a noodle house and you're running a noodle shop.
Roll for deliciousness.
Yeah.
Whoop. Sorry, 8. No Szechuan peppercorns for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be fun.
And it's like the whole campaign is like,
running a shop.
Someone's threatening your shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I'm into this idea.
Yeah.
I would read a story or play a video game that was about managing a noodle house. Like
I'm pretty sure those games exist.
I want an RPG about managing a ramen shop.
Yeah.
Help me out, world. Does this exist?
Well, those like they're barely simulations. It's like, oh, you have to run like the business or the restaurant, and then it's like it's kind of like one of those games where you have to like, oh, well, you have to go like set up like harvesting this to make this, and then you have to like make this to produce that, and blah blah blah. You know those games I'm talking about?
No.
They're like there's a million like just like iPhone app games like that. They're really simple, but.
Maybe we could design an app.
There's nothing as complex. It's not like complex like, if there was like a VR game where you're just like hand stretching noodles.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Have you seen the video clips of people using like Google Earth VR?
No.
People are saying it's like weirdly emotional. Because it's like you can basically fly over landscapes and like go down into cities and stuff like that. And it's like crazy rendered. And it's free. It's just Google Earth, right?
Yeah.
But like people are talking about that as like emotional. And it's like people are saying it's maybe like 1/10 the way astronauts feel with the whole totally Overwatch experience.
Yeah.
But for me, that would obviously be VR hand dragging noodles.
You're just like, all you do is go outside like noodle shops in China.
You can stand on a ledge and smoke a cigarette overlooking a small back street in like, China. No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what our game would be. That's your break in between noodles. Yeah. Press X to smoke cigarette.
Yeah.
Press Y to think about life.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm into this. Well, I think we've definitely mapped out the future of virtual reality.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe that was a good time to stop.
Sure.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for listening, Nude Dudes. As always, you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, as long as we get our SoundCloud account recovered.
Yeah. Well, if we didn't, then you'll never hear this.
You'll never hear this. Anyway, we're on Twitter at PeacefulPod. If you haven't already, leave us a rating and review on iTunes. That would be amazing. We'd love you forever for it. And maybe tell a friend. This is a Vancouver-focused show, and it is really for people who live in Vancouver. So if you live in Vancouver, you probably know other people who live in Vancouver who probably have been to Peaceful Restaurant.
Maybe. I mean, there's so many locations now.
Yeah, wow, they're really growing.
Yeah.
Anyway, good for Peaceful Restaurant, good for us,
yeah,
and good for the nudes we find between us.
That's right.
My name is Brian Sherlaw.
I'm Andy Sherlaw.
And for Peaceful Restaurant Podcast Project, there's nothing left to say but keep it crispy. Crispy. Crazy.
Grazie.
Prego.